So neck region, one of the key muscle present on the neck region is the sternocleidomastoid. Anterior to the sternocleidomastoid, you will see these anterior triangles of the neck. Posterior to the sternocleidomastoid, posterior triangles of the neck. Anterior portion, one of the important triangle is that submandibular triangle or digastric triangle, that is placed between the muscles and the base of this mandible. This one is the base of the mandible. This is the anterior belly of digastric muscle, and here it is that posterior belly of the digastric muscle. So the anterior belly, which arises from this digastric fossa, which is present on the just lateral to the symphysis menti, and fibers will be passes downwards and inferiorly. Then the posterior belly of digastric, that will be arises from this mastoid process and comes down anteriorly and downwards. The both the muscles tendons, which is it's called as the intermediate tendon, that is attached on this hyoid bone. This is the hyoid bone. So this is the base of the mandible, and the basal portions, which is on the upper portion, the base of this mandible, and the oblique portion is presents the angle of the mandible to this mastoid process. This one is the oblique portions of this base of this triangle. Then the apex region is directed downwards, that is directed up to this intermediate tendon. This one is the boundaries of this digastric triangle. Here we will see this anterior belly of digastric, which is arises from this first pharyngeal arch, and here it is that second pharyngeal arch. The first one is supplied by this anterior belly is supplied by this mylohyoid nerve, and the posterior belly is supplied by this facial nerve. Here it is the roof of this submandibular triangle. Anteriorly we can see this mylohyoid muscle. Here it is that hyoglossus muscle, and the posterior most part we can see this small portions of the inferior constructor of this pharynx. This is the floor of this digastric triangle. Then the roof of this triangle, which is formed by this fascia, which is present on this cervical region, as well as the platysma, which is present on this region, and the cervical branches of the facial nerve, then the mandibular branch of the facial nerve, that is also present on this roof of this submandibular triangle. Next is the what are the contents of this submandibular triangle. The first one is that submandibular gland, which is present on the submandibular or digastric triangle. Then along with these glands we can see submandibular lymph nodes. Then the hypoglossal nerve, then facial artery. These are the structures which is present on this anterior aspect of this digastric triangle. Then posterior aspects we will see the small portions of this parotid gland, then the external carotid artery. This is the external carotid artery, then the external jugular vein. They are the structures which is present on the posterior aspects of this digastric triangle.